Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a bit of a double toasted video today. And speaking of double toasted, yeah, this is my nurse, Miss Funbags. I would call her Nurse Ratchet, but I keep thinking of Louise Fletcher from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And honestly, you can't compare her to this right here. She doesn't say much, she doesn't smile, but she gives me a lovely ice pack here, there, and almost everywhere, because Jason Jr., if he gets ice to him, well, he becomes like a pea pod. And anyway, on that one, folks, and I've got to say, this is absolutely my greatest creation so far. You can tell AI has consumed me. And you know what? That's not a bad thing, folks. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Funbags?
Flashing through the sky, he's a go-go guy. Stronger than a train with a so-so brain. He's fearless, careless, a little too careless. Help me!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have been a bit of a naughty boy recently, not bringing you the relevant video game stories when I should do, but I've been recuperating. I can just about squeeze Miss Nurse Funbag's own 36D special assets, but at the moment, still got a lot of resistance in the tendons. But hey, you don't want to hear about my health issues at the moment, and thank you very much to everybody who's been sending me messages asking me how I am doing. But my God, Concord, that game which has failed to ignite any passion. Concord, a game that has taken 8 years to make. Oh my word. I mean, the mind absolutely baffles me, because you know what? When they have these concepts for games in the beginning, you think they're onto a good thing, and then suddenly it seems that Sweet Baby Inc. type infiltrators come on in and change the landscape.
That was kind of, I think, the first time where I realized it was okay to show up, you know, with my true self.
It encourages ideas to flourish without bias.
You should always have people from all kinds of backgrounds.
It enables stories to be told without barriers.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know what? It's not just games this applies to. I've been in many businesses where I've worked in different roles, and you can see when a consultant comes in, like in Office Space, the greatest comedy of all time, you know, the two Bobs, they do come and they do stream. Well, I want to say they do come, I don't mean like that, but they do make forcible changes, which is not for the better, it's actually to the detriment of the workplace.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
So, yep, talentless freaks is what the fans are who failed to enjoy Concord. And it fails to even hit a 700 peak concurrent player on Steam, which is hilarious. I mean, this face model right here, it's not the best. I mean, there's a glimmer of hope of femininity, but she's wearing stupid jewelry on her ears and she's got a very broad mannish face. So I do retract that last comment. But ex-user Amin Zander posted to X to celebrate Concord's release. It's Concord release day! So insanely proud of the team and what they and we did. Again, he's pronouncing the team is so daft. Have accomplished. A labor of love, nothing else. Been playing it so much since early access, since a few days ago, and I'm so excited for it to become available to everybody. Well, it has, and guess what? Nobody's playing it. So after they made this post on Twitter X, somebody then responded to them by saying, "I'm so sorry this has to be your first game. I do not believe you're the cause of it or any of the other devs' fault that this game has performed so poorly. I can tell that a lot of effort was put into completing this game. It just came at the wrong time in the genre." Yeah, which is true. Yeah, it absolutely is. Because you had PUBG, you've got Overwatch and Overwatch 2 now, which might as well be Overwatch 1.1 at this stage. But in a now deleted post, Amin Zander, who again is Free Gunner, responded, I really don't care. It was a huge labor from a lot of people, insanely talented people, making an awesome game. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Despite the fact the other user, who is Preston so many numbers afterwards, was actually being kind in their comments. He or she was saying, listen, looked at your game, you know the reason why it's not doing well? Because you're putting in ESG and DEI and EDI, you know, that's DEI spelled the other way around. And it was the same thing with Helldivers 2, ladies and gentlemen, because when that came out in February of this year, people were celebrating its success. They were rejecting woke ideology. Until that is, the actual devs of that game started going after fans who said, why are you allowing this to happen in the game when it's meant to be an enjoyment for all the community? So again, when your own developers are attacking you, the fan, for playing their game and then enjoying it, but then you get mass attacked, again, what is the point of even being a fan anymore? I mean, I don't understand if these game companies and any kind of entertainment company just don't care that the fans are more important than anything else, because hey, you get a product out there, people buy it en masse, you expect to repay the kindness, right? Which is why I hate going to Comic-Con and paying $70 or £80 to have your mugshot taken with Jensen Ackles or somebody from the show Heroes. For the, what, really? I'd rather meet these guys in the street and get a picture with them then, you know what I mean? So I find that all very self-congratulatory and I don't really care. But of course, folks, we get on to the main crux of today's video. I mean, I had to throw that one in the beginning. So this actually originated from a guy called Hey Slick, that's me. So credit to him for this because, well, Dustborn, we knew that was a mitigated disaster when I first reacted to it, to the muted response from Jeff Keighley's Gamescom 2023, where none of the audience bothered to clap. Even Jeff Keighley had no interest in Dustborn at all.
What do you have to say? I think we can all agree that my troll voice was better than yours.
So, Dustborn dev at Shitspout, and when you see what she looks like and the kind of slurs they use in their biog, well, you have to wonder what the hell is going on, has gone into protected mode on Twitter. They certainly have, after getting caught stealing when I was 5. That's my favorite Jane's Addiction song, actually. I do wonder if Dave Navarro actually played that awesome guitar solo halfway through that actual song. Using GTA Online assets in her shitty DEI game, but not before I captured screenshots of some of her anti-male, anti-gamer rhetoric. What the hell? Oh my god, you are kidding me, right? So this is Thea Berg, Shitspout. This is what she thinks about the patriarchy. Men as a concept was cooked. Men are the weakest link, truly. Well, who helps you to come out into the world, love? Yeah, man does. Without the man's love juice, we're not going to exist, right? Holy shit. I will put knitting men and sexy non-binary peeps in your video game, and I will never stop. Oh my god, she sounds like a trans Terminator. Be afraid. I come not in peace. Listen, you're ruining one of my favorite movies there, I Come in Peace, with Dolph Lundgren, okay? Don't you dare besmirch that all-time great classic B-action movie. Let's go back here. Wow. Do not read the comments on the Goodbye Volcano High trailer on YouTube, man. Sometime in the future, gamers might realize that everything isn't made to cater specifically for you all, and that's okay. Personally, can't wait to fulfill my dream of being a gay dinosaur. You're besmirching Barney. Barney the purple dinosaur is awesome and he's not gay. He's just very flamboyant. 50% of gamers are women, by the way. That's not a true statistic. It's actually less than that. I've talked about it here on my channel. Women are now pissed that men prefer to game, even if the man is in a relationship with a woman. And I've seen this recently on Location with the sexy Kirsty Allstop and Phil Spencer. Not that Phil Spencer. I like this one a lot more. Where one dude had to actually get his own room so he can play his video games because his lovely missus prefers to watch movies. So, and is she jealous? No, because she's not interested in playing games. But that's a bullshit statement there and then. And there you go. So, Thea Berg, game designer at Red Thread Games in Norway, villain era, gay agenda connoisseur. Buy Dustborn. It's the new gay game coming to you on a Steam platform near you. And by the way, this is her profile on Instagram, which has now gone into protective mode again. Sick Nasty. And if you look below her name, she's a she, or is it a he? And they're an F word, which I can't say on YouTube because I'll be instantly demonetized. But for some reason, as a straight heterosexual dark coffee of diversity myself, if I were to utter that word verbally, I'll probably get community noticed, right? Especially, in fact, I did get community noticed on Twitter X when replying to Melanie Mack. But for some bizarre reason, yeah, oh yeah, but if you're of this persuasion, let's have a look at this picture. Can we get the picture to blow up? No, we can't. And even the dog, the poor pooch, is wearing rainbow colors. I mean, what an absolute freak of nature. Back in the day, when you saw somebody like this, right, looking like that, you would think, yeah, they're radical, they've got ideas, they're very punk, they're very proto. But these days, and even that dog looks absolutely petrified. I think the dog is thinking, why the F am I here? Who is this freak owner next to me? So that's it. I mean, you can tell she doesn't like men, maybe even women. She's got a vitriolic hatred towards them just by the way she looks. I know we're not supposed to paint a picture like Patrick Jane did in The Mentalist of somebody, but really, when you see this person right here, she's pretty vile and toxic, actually. So getting back to the main story again, folks, well, have a look at this. So the new Dustbin game has ripped off GTA Online, copying the apartment layout one-to-one. Paintings, TV, rooms, and even the small garden are in the same locations. Now, I don't play GTA Online, so thanks to Hey Slick, I mean, obviously he does. I mean, yeah, you can see Pax walking into the apartment, and yeah, I mean, look, when you look at it from this angle, it's not the same, but obviously, they've just changed a few things. They've made a few modifications so you wouldn't notice. So the walls are the same. The staircase here is a little bit of a distance away from where it is in the GTA Online. But again, the apartments are, yeah, you see the white shelving here and the brown shelving on GTA Online. It is a one-to-one, isn't it? It's hilarious. Yeah, as Grum said here, Dustborn used far more government money than has been previously reported. This feels like a Sweet Baby Inc. racketeer stick 'em up, isn't it? Because get in, ruin the game, as long as you get paid, you get out and you move on to the next thing to munch up and destroy.
And so today, what we do is writing, narrative design, story building, story breaking as our first and foremost, but on a secondary level, we work very hard to get marginalized talent into the industry, to protect them the way that we would want to have been protected, to lift them up, and to get them into an industry where they're too often shut out.
Dustborn is basically an Antifa game in disguise. It absolutely is. And I've mentioned this before, how much money they actually use to pay for this. It's ridiculous. Government funded money, man, for a game about DEI and ESG. It's ridiculous. Madam Savvy, I do like her, actually. She's very cute. But she's been playing the game online for Our Troubles. And look at this. I couldn't believe this is what she actually played. A segment of the game.
I'm sorry. Was that an inappropriate response?
Not at all. What he said. She said. It. What are you, robot?
I'm a robot. I don't have an assigned gender.
Good for you.
Wait, so how do we make...
So you're a robot speaking with a male voice, but you don't have an assigned gender. Oh my God. Wow. I tell you, man, I've just kind of had it up to here with this. I mean, it is an absolute giggle fest at the moment, isn't it? Oh my God. So Letting the Law says, why do modern Western video games like Dustborn seem so obsessed with vitiligo, which is autoimmune disease where people have really bad skin disorders? When everyone has it, it's less about awareness and more like a new stereotype. I mean, honestly, this fat chick here from Dustborn looks like a Muslim woman. Again, why is that relevant in a video game? Who knows? Look, it's the modern audience. Of course, they don't exist. Oh, and check this out. So somebody, a streamer I'm assuming, had Pax permanently, no, I'm going to say temporarily tattooed on her body. And of course, Red Thread Games reposted because what does that mean, right? Nothing at all. So an interesting thread I found here. Is it illegal to mod GTA 5 online? Has anyone been sued for that kind of thing? They can, but they most likely won't waste their time. That's take two, because thousands of modders are probably doing the same thing. So it's hard for Take Two to go after every single person. Instead, Rockstar is fortifying the game by updating it periodically and creating those so-called ban waves, where it wipes out and bans players with ridiculous amounts of money or malicious programs opening in the background. Yes, Rockstar is monitoring what programs you use when you play GTA 5 online. So I think that's actually a very good point, because at the end of the day, we'll take to make an example out of Red Thread Games for stealing their online game assets and using it in their woke garbage DEI, DSI, DOA agenda-filled game. They might do, they could make an example, they could potentially put Red Thread Games out of business actually. But remember, Rockstar Games aren't the same developers under Mr. Dan Houser himself, right? They're a different beast altogether. They've reformed. They don't have Friday night drink outs in strip bars or clubs. No, it's all reformed now. We're all kind and gentle Rockstar people. Until GTA 6 is released in maybe, what, 2 years time from now? We're not going to know the full truth about their culture behind doors. And one thing I want to bring for your attention, folks, okay, I've been watching probably my favorite live adaptation of a video game, the Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft films, starring Angelina Jolie in her absolute prime. And what's really interesting, when I watched this last night, I'm actually watching Cradle of Life this morning, actually, with me mum, because I can't wait to get stuck into that. My excuse is I want to ogle Angelina Jolie's goodies when they were in full view and full effect. But what I'll say about something that Miss Jolie said in the B-roll footage, the behind the scenes, which really kind of stuck out with me, where she mentioned the fact that I mean, for me, right, I've got to say, her transformation into Lara Croft is incredible. She spent 3 months getting into shape. To quote Angelina Jolie in her own words, she was a dork, she was out of shape before she accepted this role. But then she's like very much like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 when she made that physical transformation. But Miss Jolie said, I want to do what the guys do. I try to compete with them, but I'm never going to beat them. And I thought, wow, this woman is absolutely based, because her dad, of course, is John Voight. And she also went on to say that about the character, she wanted her to be curvy and sexy and adventurous and flirty and playful, which is great. I don't know why we don't hear more stuff like this when it comes to entertainment. So, Miss Jo, and by the way, this film, when I watched it again, yes, it's 2001, and Simon West, who directed The Great Con Air, has a great flair when it comes to action. And again, if they were to remake this now, I mean, that failed reboot with Alicia Vikander was absolutely awful. And I tell you what, if they remade this now, you can guarantee Lara Croft will be surrounded by female friends, and the director would be a female as well, okay? And again, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she's meant to be having a Amazon version on that platform for Lara Croft, and so far they failed to cast anybody. I'll still say get Ella Balinska, make her a race swapped Lara Croft. I'll be laughing from here to the high heavens. But of course, folks, will Take-Two go after Red Thread Games? I have no idea. But listen, when we talk about video games, when we get passionate, when we get excited, for me personally, and this is what I grabbed off my shelf today, look at that. I mean, Mass Effect 2 is just the GOAT. It really is. You can replay this game so many times on different difficulties, different classes, because you have so many romance options. Yes, you can have a same-sex romance option if you want to, but the game doesn't force you to do that. And it's up to you as the player if you want to pursue that mode. But of course, I haven't done that yet. But I mean, if you're playing FemShep, then it's kind of more tantalizing and more titillating if you want to romance Liara Tassoni or the other female companions in your cabin. And it's pretty fun. And the love scenes are tasteful. They're very tame, but at the time they cause so much outrage. And of course, Mass Effect 3, which is, you know, it's okay. It's a bit buggy in places, but again, I had to buy the Legacy Edition because that's how I remembered it. I remember when it's ported over to PlayStation 3. Oh my god, that particular console had so much trouble just trying to play the damn thing properly. And look at that. GTA 4, right? The special edition I got from, I think it's from America. Yeah, it is. And yeah, this is what gaming used to be, folks. But now it's all about weirdos like Thea Berg, who wears the nose ring and shaves her hair in different directions and then calls you out because you got caught stealing, to quote Jane's Addiction again. I've been caught stealing once when I was 5. From GTA 5 Online. I'm going to predict now they won't take any action because, as that Quora post said, they have far too many things to deal with at the moment. But this is significant. I think some people out there in our side of the space will push for this to get actioned, put Red Thread Games out. That probably shouldn't happen, but as it's a flagrant disregard for another publisher's content, I think, to be honest, well, something's got to happen, right? Something has got to give. I mean, Dustborn has not sold well. It hasn't sold anything, to be honest. And you know what? I've got to bring back on my lovely, fantastic Miss Funbags right here herself, because what other way can I say goodbye to you today, folks, than saying the obvious? Like the video, subscribe, and if I were you, and if you were her, and if you were them, you might want to come back for the next video.